Okay, so I've showed you how to number data automatically. I've showed you how to convert a report into a format that a pivot table can use. Now, when you use budgets, for example, and you get 30 plus different budgets, and you convert these budgets to TB formats, and it's something that a pivot table can use, then you're effectively going to sit with 30 different sources. So how do you combine these 30 sources into one? So in this example, I've got 4 TVs. I want to combine them into one total report. So first I need to do one TB for every single one of them, and then I need to create a consolidated pivot out of those pivots. So the most important thing to start off with is you need to get your individual pivots correct. So before we even do that, you need to identify which TB is which. Because the biggest mistake you can make is that when you get your final report and you've got a funny figure in somewhere that you do not know where it's coming from. So we need to add a source on all of them. So I'm just going to select all the sheets. I'm going to add source. And then I'm just going to start at the beginning. So that is TB1. Just say equals the top one. And just copy that down. And I'm going to say that is TB2. I've just created hyperlink there. And so that is TB3. And this one is called TB4. TB4. So now I've made a source column in every single TB. So now we need to create the first one. So I'm just going to say insert pivot. I'm going to select TB1. So before you even try to copy and paste this, make sure this one is correct. So we would need the account and the description, income statement or balance sheet, and source. And the ending balance should obviously be there. So I'm just going to say sum because we selected the whole column. So now it's not showing very nice because we can't get this into another pivot. So we need to go into the pivot and just change the layout. So let's just go to pivot table options, display, classic. Then we need to take out subtotals. We need to take out grand totals. Let's just drag the income statement balance sheet in front there. And now we need to fill the blanks there because otherwise the consolidated one won't work. So just go to report layout, repeat all item labels, and then just make it a bit better there. And I'm just going to freeze the headings. Okay, so now we've got the first one ready. So now we need to copy and paste this. Don't go there because if I copy from there and paste there, it's not a pivot anymore because I didn't copy the whole thing. Make sure you copy the whole pivot up until the end. So what I normally do is I choose certain intervals. So I'm going to, for example, go to line 100. That's my next TB. Then to line 200, that's my third TB. And then to line 300, that's my fourth TB. Now you're just going to change all of them. So that's the fourth TB. So I'm just going to change source data to go to the fourth TB. So there it changes. So stand on this one, change source data, go to the third TB. It changes. Go to this one, change source data, and go to the second TB. So now I've added all of them. So now we're ready to do a consolidated pivot. So let's say insert. We've got headings for everything. We filled in everything. We took out the subtotals and the grand totals. So let's say insert pivot. Now I can't go from the top because there's no headings in row 1, and that's something I can't change. So I have to start at the second one. I'm adding a few zeros. So how do we want this to look? I want the income statement and balance sheet, and I want the source on top and the total there. And just change this to sum. Okay. But now we've got another problem. This doesn't look that well. So let's first change the number format. So that's nice. But now we've got something called income statement, balance sheet, and sum of ending balance. What does this mean? The problem is because in the other TBs that we've inputted here, there's text. So the headings is showing because, I mean, you can't really get around it. So let's take it out. I normally add something called 0. Then you can add a if formula. So my first logical test is I want to test if that is equal to this. And I'm just going to fix it. And I want to test if that is equal to that. And I want to test if that is equal to a space. So if any one of those conditions are true, then make it a 1. Otherwise, just make it a 2. And then we can just copy that to the end. Or we can even say, instead of making it a 1, just make it a space. Or a blank cell. So let's refresh this quickly. We need to just change the source data because we've added another column. We're going to take that to F. So now that 0 is there, we're going to put the 0 into the filter column. And I'm just going to select 2s. So can you see this helped a lot? So the last thing is we can just take out the blanks. So there's a cleaned up version. So we know where it's coming from. We know that we've taken out everything that doesn't make sense. So we've got a cleaned version. And now we've effectively got 4 sources that we've combined now into one pivot. So what's nice about this, if I add some more detail in this, income statement, balance sheet, let's take out the source. So if I look at the figure now, let's say shared capital looks too much, then I just double click on it and it will show something and it will tell me which one doesn't look right, and I can just go to them and see what's the problem. So this is a very powerful way to do it, and it will save a lot of time, especially with budgets. I've seen it a lot, or when you get a lot of reports from a lot of different sources and your system can't really handle it. And if you spend half the month in trying to consolidate these, this is a very easy way to do it, and also you can take away errors and mistakes by doing it in this way.